Hi, my name's Connor Martin, and I did my poem on The World is Too Much with Us by William Wordsworth. The world is too much with us. Late and soon, getting and spending, we lay waste our powers. Little we see in nature that is ours. We have given our hearts away, a sordid boon. This sea that bears her bosom to the moon, the winds that will be howling at all hours, and are upgathered now like sleeping flowers. For this, for everything, we are out of tune. It moves us not. Great God, I'd rather be a pagan, suckled in a creed outworn. So might I, standing on this pleasant lea, have glimpses that would make me less forlorn. Have sight of Proteus rising from the sea, or hear old Triton blow his reddest horn. From this poem by William Wordsworth, I got the understanding that the poem's not really about just nature, just the world being too much for us. It's about us getting caught up in the world, working and not understanding the value of nature, overseeing that our greed and efforts are more towards progression in wealth, not in the value of nature. From the poem, I understood that, from the first few lines, that we just get caught up in everything and we don't value nature for what it is. And the lives we live are very materialistic and focused on the value of money, and that he even says we lay waste to our powers, the power of not valuing nature and not taking nature for granted. That's what ends up happening in the long run. We take nature for granted. Everyone wants the biggest houses, the best cars, the best phones, but no one understands that building houses cuts down trees, and you need trees to build houses. And also in line 4, we're provided with the reality that we have almost like turned the other cheek on nature and turns our interest just into material things rather than embracing nature. The sword and boon is an oxymoron that William Wordsworth uses to say to give us the insight of it's a false reward at the cost of ignorance. Our ignorance is bliss in some sort, but what's our ignorance really getting us? Harming our environment, killing ecosystems. Every second you start your car, it's ruining the ecosystem. And also in what line is it? It is line in line 6, line 5. The winds that will be howling at all hours shows that we always work, no matter what. All the time we're working, we lose track of that. And what William Wordsworth is trying to say is that in the last few lines in the poem, that since we're always working, we don't have any respect of nature. And like the gods, the Greek gods, he wants to go back to those simple times where the Greek gods were valued because of their respect for nature. They were the ones that were thought to control nature. So everyone had the greatest respect for nature. And we also learn that with the knowledge that we now have, the understanding of the Greek gods is no longer really thought about. It's kind of just studied. No one really thinks, oh, I'm going to value this because the Greek gods value it. People value things for materialistic possession and their own self-worth, per se. And that's what William Wordsworth was trying to say, that he would rather go back to those times and value things like the Greek gods did, rather than nowadays where everyone is educated and understands why weather happens, how volcanoes erupt, and things like that. Things that couldn't be solved by creating myths of Greek gods. I really enjoyed the poem. I thought he really does give a great insight into how we do waste our powers. We do waste nature. No one really respects nature and embraces nature like they should, and they have in the old times. Like even Thanksgiving that just passed. No one really remembers what Thanksgiving is really about. No one's making little turkeys with their hands. Everyone kind of takes that for granted. Everyone just goes out, buys a turkey or whatever, and has Thanksgiving dinner. No one really takes for granted that, everyone takes for granted, that they lived off the land. They had corn, potatoes, and turkey. They didn't have everything that we take for granted nowadays, like cookies and things like that for dessert, stuff like that. And I think William Wordsworth really made a great point saying that we lay waste to our powers in line too. Yep, and that's it. Thank you.